Everyone in the village said Ada was a good girl. She was quiet, respectful, and always helped her mother in the kitchen. She never talked back to her father. She cleaned, cooked, studied, and prayed like every obedient daughter should. But even good girls can make mistakes. And sometimes one mistake can destroy everything. This is the story of Ada, a young Nigerian girl who had dreams like every other girl her age. She wanted to become a teacher and help children learn. She wanted to live a better life, not just for herself, but for her family too. But life took a different turn, one that brought her pain, shame, and tears. Yet that same pain later led her to something beautiful, something she never expected, the heart of a man who changed her world forever. Ada was only 20 when her life fell apart. She lived in a small town near Enugu. Her family was not rich, but they were not poor either. Her father was a strict man. He believed in tradition and family honor. His voice was like thunder in the house. Her mother was soft-spoken and always tired, busy with housework and prayers. Ada had just finished secondary school and was waiting for university admission. She wanted to become a teacher. She spent her free time drawing in her notebook and helping her mother. Then she met Kene. It was during a youth fellowship program at church. Keen was tall, handsome, and full of smooth words. He smiled in a way that made Ada feel special. He started talking to her slowly, softly, like he was reading her heart. They exchanged numbers. He began walking her home after church. Her little things: groundnuts, a new Bible, a pair of earrings. He called her my queen. No one had ever made her feel that loved before. In just a few weeks, Ada fell for him. She believed it was love. She believed every word he said. But Keen was not who she thought he was. 3 months later, Ada missed her period. She didn't panic at first. She thought maybe it was stress. But then the days turned into weeks, and she knew something was wrong. She went to a small chemist shop and bought a pregnancy test. When she saw the 2 lines, her world went quiet. She didn't tell anyone for weeks. She was scared, confused, and ashamed. She sent messages to Keen, but he didn't reply. She called him, but his phone was always switched off. He had disappeared. One morning, her father heard her vomiting in the bathroom. He asked questions. She kept quiet. He shouted. She finally told him the truth. The silence that followed was like death. Then came the storm. "You are a disgrace." Her father shouted, "You are no longer my daughter." He dragged her things outside and threw them into the dirt. Her mother cried, but she didn't stop him. Her siblings watched, scared and confused. Ada begged. She knelt and cried. But her father's heart was like stone that night. She left her home with just a plastic bag, swollen eyes, and a baby growing in her belly. She had nowhere to go. She called her aunt in town. No answer. She messaged her friends, made excuses. "I wish I could help," they said. "But my parents won't allow it." She walked for hours, looking for a place to sleep. The city was loud, cold, and uncaring. She finally found a quiet corner behind a market stall. That was her bed for the night. She used her wrapper as a blanket. The mosquitoes bit her. Rain wet her clothes. But she survived. Days turned into weeks. She stayed near a construction site. She saw the workers, everyday tired men in dirty overalls. They bought food from a woman who sold rice and beans nearby. One morning, Ada had an idea. She took the last 1,000 she had and bought beans and firewood. She borrowed a small stove from another woman at the market. That evening, she made her own pot of beans and started selling beside the road. Her first sale was small, but enough for the next day's food. Some workers gave her extra money. Some said, "God bless you." Some gave her clean water. Didn't make much, but it was something. Every morning, Ada woke up before the sun. She cooked. She stood by the roadside with her swollen belly, serving hot food in nylon bags. People started calling her the strong girl. But inside, Ada Was tired? Very tired. At night. She cried quietly. She missed her mother's cooking. She missed her bed. She missed the old Ada, the one who had dreams, the one who had hope. Then, one Friday afternoon, something unexpected happened. She was spooning beans into a customer's bag when a black SUV pulled up beside her. She didn't pay attention. Big cars never stopped for her. But then a familiar voice said, "Ada?" She looked up and her heart stopped. It was Czech, her old classmate from secondary school. He used to sit beside her in class. She helped him with homework. He was shy back then, always reading. But now he wore a fine suit and held a tablet. "You sell here?" he asked, surprised. Ada nodded slowly. She didn't know whether to smile or cry. Chaik didn't laugh. He didn't judge her. He sat down on the wooden bench and bought her food. They talked for a long time. Ada told him everything. The pregnancy, her father. Living on the street. When she finished, Chaik looked at her with soft eyes and said, "Come to my office on Monday. I think I can help." That night, Ada didn't sleep. Her heart beat fast. Was this real? Could something good finally happen? She didn't know. But for the first time in months, she felt a small light of hope. Sometimes, the people we least expect come back into our lives at the perfect moment. When Chaik called Ada's name that afternoon on the roadside, she thought her mind was playing tricks. It had been months since she had seen anyone who remembered her as more than just the girl selling beans. And yet, there he was, tall, clean, wearing a fine suit, looking at her like she still mattered. "Come to my office on Monday," Chaik had said. "I think I can help." That night, Ada lay, awake on her wooden bench behind the market. Her heart was beating fast. She had not felt this kind of hope in a long time. Was this real? Would he really help her? Or was it just another empty promise? Monday morning came. Ada borrowed a clean dress from the market woman who had once shared her stove. She used some of her food money to take a cheap motorcycle to the address Chaik gave her. Her hands were shaking when she arrived. She held her belly and whispered, "Please, God, let this be good." Then she walked into the office. She couldn't believe her eyes. The place was big, with glass doors, a front desk, and people moving quickly in smart clothes. Ada felt small. She looked down at her flat shoes and old bag. Then she saw Chaik walking toward her, smiling warmly. "I'm glad you came," he said. He introduced her to a few staff members and then took her to a small office. There he looked at her and said gently, "I want to give you a chance. You were kind to me in school. You believed in me when no one else did. Now I want to believe in you." Ada's eyes filled with tears. He offered her a job as a receptionist. It would not be easy, especially with the baby coming soon, but he said they would give her training and support. She tried to refuse at first. "You don't owe me anything," she said. But Chaik replied, "No, Ada, we all need someone sometimes." From that day, Ada began a new chapter. She worked hard. Even though her back ached and her feet hurt, she never complained. She greeted everyone with respect. She kept the office clean, paid attention during training. Slowly, the staff began to admire her. Some days were hard. Her pregnancy made her tired. There were nights when she still cried, remembering her father's face, the rain, the shame. But this time she had something to look forward to. Her life had meaning again. Chaik visited her often, checking in to see if she needed anything. He never made her feel small. They talked about school, about dreams, and sometimes even about their childhood. He would bring her warm food or fruits. Ada started to smile again. When the baby came, Chaik was the one who rushed her to the hospital. She gave birth to a healthy baby boy. She named him Obina, meaning father's heart, even though her own father had not returned. Chaik was there the whole time. Kay brought clothes, diapers, and even helped her move into a small apartment near the office. She could not believe how kind he was. Weeks passed. Ada returned to work stronger than before. She managed her job and her baby with quiet grace. People in the office respected her more than ever. She was not just the girl who got pregnant. She was Ada, brave one, the one who didn't give up. Then one day, Chike asked her to go for a walk. They walked through the busy street. Kate passed shops and loud buses until they reached the spot where she used to sell food. Her old cooking spot was still there, dusty and empty. She stared at it, remembering the heat, the fear, and the quiet tears. "This is where you started again," Chike said softly. "But I want to build something more with you." Then, right there in the middle of the dusty roadside, Chike knelt down and held out a ring. "I don't care what anyone says," he said. "I love you. I respect you. I want to build a life with you. Will you marry me?" Ada covered her mouth. Shocked, she never thought love would come to her like this. Not after everything she had lost. But here, it was real, honest, and full of grace. She said yes. With tears in her eyes, they had a simple Yoruba ceremony, surrounded by real friends. An office staff, even her father came silent, ashamed, but present. He didn't say much, but he hugged her after the ceremony. And in that moment, Ada forgave him. Today, Ada is not just a wife. She's a businesswoman, a public speaker, and the founder of a small center called Ida's Home, where young girls like her pregnant and rejected find shelter, love, and second chances. When she speaks to them, she always says, "Your past is not your prison. If I made it, you can too."